You'll notice how a woman, no matter how dysfunctional she acts in her life and in her thinking, you'll notice how quickly she gets in line when she gets around some pimping.
What's good, everybody? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another collaboration here on the YouTube channel. Brothers, I'm really so glad to be here. Give yourselves a round of applause, editors, for the brothers coming in today. And today, man, I have a brother from my home state. We have a very, very interesting show. He's a very lively, long-winded too, but he's a very funny brother. I'm let him explain who he is. And before we get, go ahead, brother. Let him know who you are.
What's going on, Mr. O'Shea Jackson? My name is Kevin Jason Parkinson from Bellflower, California, by way of Mount Vernon, New York, where I was born. My parents are from Jamaica, and I graduated from Bellflower High School before attending the Shaw University in Raleigh, North Carolina.
All right. And what do you do, family?
I am a filmmaker. I run and operate a video production company, Vinark Motion Pictures, out of Phoenix, Arizona.
Okay, all right. Now, this is very interesting because you're actually the first filmmaker that I've interviewed on this channel. But I think what's interesting is because I met you through Pan-Africanism Strikes Back, and you have a film that really relates to what a lot of guys are going through, and we're going to get to that in a moment. But as we were talking about it, because, usually before interviews, we talk a lot of times with the guests and stuff like that. And, you are going through a divorce right now, right?
Yes.
Okay. And what's the reason for your divorce?
Amanda Seals?
Amanda Seals.
Yeah, I think that's the root cause.
Okay. Why do you say that?
When my ex-wife started listening to Amanda Seals' podcast, she started to change, and that led to her wanting a divorce.
And you said it just one day out the blue.
I was listening to Tariq Nasheed's Mac Lessons podcast radio. I would listen to this day. I listen to the repeats because they do something to my psyche, my soul. Like it's like you listen to a sermon almost. It's like you remember who you are as a strong heterosexual black man, and that you got to get out here and really get it. And she took stock of that and was like, I want to find a podcast that I can enjoy as a woman. So I found a few for her and said, hey, he's a great woman who is giving a lot of good advice. Maybe you could start here. One of her homegirls was like, oh, girl, you should listen to Amanda Seals.
Now, is that homegirl single or is she married?
She's married, but
okay,
that's an interesting dichotomy of what I've seen. I don't know. I haven't spoken to her in years.
Okay.
So after my ex-wife started listening to Amanda Seals, she then started watching Insecure. After she started watching Insecure, she started wanting to spend more time with her male best friend, who I always had an issue with.
Uh-oh.
And after
wait, can I get a dun-dun-dun sound effect? All right, go ahead.
This is the guy who she told me don't worry about. You see that meme and you think that's just hyperbole? That's real life.
Wow.
Yeah, man. And so I'm telling her straight up and down, I'm not comfortable with your friendship with this guy because he and I are extremely similar. And there's really nothing that you could get from him that you can't get from me. Plus, I'm further ahead in life than he is. So I don't understand what the attraction is.
Uh-oh.
Like, the friendship attraction, right? To that, her point is, well, we went to high school together and we have memories of junior high school and 10th grade. And I'm like, what the hell do you need memories of 10th grade for? That's illogical. It doesn't matter. Well, I don't think I should have to lose a friendship just because I'm married. So, like the idiot I am, I'm like, well, if you want to be friends with him, he's got to be friends with me. Just some real sucker sim stuff that my father would be very disappointed in. Like if my dad was in the room when I said this stuff, my dad would be looking at me like, who are you, bro? But I was simping so hard back then. Anyways, I'm not too dark skinned to admit my simping ways of the past. But that led to just more and more trouble. Then all of a sudden, I want to grow my hair. I want dreads. I want to cut my hair. I don't like my hair. Then the baby came. Then it was, I want to be seen. I want to be known more. Kevin, As long as you have this dream of being a filmmaker, I'll always be in your shadow. Your dreams are bigger than mine. I'm only going to be known as Miss Parkinson and our daughter's mom. Bro, the red flags are there. But Mr. Simp, oh no, man, we're going to make it work. It's going to be all right. Like, fellas, listen to what your woman is telling you, because she's telling you the truth. Don't be simping, okay? You know what's funny, O'Shea? Jesus wasn't a simp.
No, he wasn't.
O'Shea, Jesus Christ was a gang member.
Oh, yeah.
Let me break this down real quick.
Jesus
went to different neighborhoods, gang banging on people, telling them they were going to hell, and recruiting young men to roll with him in a gang. That's the thuggiest thug of all time, and we go celebrating him, acting like he was meek and holier than thou. That was not. Jesus cussed people out, and he loved promiscuous women. If you notice, he never was mean to a woman of the streets. Like he was, Jesus was a player by all sense of the word. But it's just fascinating how the semiotics of Jesus is always portrayed as he was like meek and a punk. He was violent. Dude was violent. What's the definition of violence? To commit a physical act of anger. Jesus was a violent dude. So Jesus was a violent gang member. Jesus was a violent gang member. So don't let this Christianity fool you either, brothers, into thinking that you got to be simping so hard. Be a heterosexual masculine man and stand your ground, because you're going to be tested like I was. I fell, and it cost me my marriage.
Let me talk about the semiotics, because this is going to go into, we're bridging into your film and what you are expressing right now through your film. It's called Noxious, right?
Noxious 2, Cold Case.
Noxious 2, Cold Case, okay.
Yes, sir.
So, and we talked about that word semiotics. And one of the things that you said is American women, especially in the African-American community, black women, right? In the black community at large, they're being taught, and media is pushing women to accept characteristics of themselves that are never supposed to be there at all.
Extremely dysfunctional characteristics.
That are never, that women have never really been. It's just a made up caricature that's not even. Let's explain that, because this is what I believe you know, Amanda Seals expresses, and then your wife took those elements on and her personality. Ex-wife, right, yeah, stop the show. Ex-wife. Explain that, man, because that was a really, and that's kind of getting into the nature of your film. You know, let's talk about that. About why women are being positioned to take on these characteristics that are not really them.
Because it makes more money to the consumers. I mean, the manufacturers. That's it. It's not no long drawn out answer. That's it.
But let me ask you this though, because what are these semiotics in women's behavior of dysfunctionality that you're seeing that's being pushed right now? Can you explain?
Well, it all starts back at the turn of the century. There was this little show called The Flavor of Love, and there was this one character by the name of New York, and everybody loved New York, but for different reasons, and nobody could understand why. And I'm about to break it down right now. So the semiotics of what we were seeing is young black America at the turn of the century, in terms of this new media that we were ingesting, was, oh wow, this loud, vivacious, obnoxious woman on reality TV is being celebrated for being ghetto. And you can't fault her for being who she is. So I can get that kind of attention if I portray the same characteristics. I used to only see that on Sally Jesse Raphael and Jerry Springer and the Maury Povich show. But now there's a whole television show digressing around these obnoxious behaviors of women. Oh, look at this fun meme on Facebook or whatever we had back then, Black Planet, that says, well-behaved women rarely make history. All these half-truths that are being pushed to the masses. And then you have the piggybacking of that with songs like, I wanna, you know, and what Destiny's Child have that song? I want a thug and he gotta be street, or all the single ladies, blah, blah, blah. It's a repeating of semiotics over and over again, saying if you are ghetto, if you are obnoxious, if you are not a person of change in character, you're just a person who goes along to get along, ultimately you instigate negativity, you will be celebrated, even rewarded.
Mm-hmm.
And that's been a huge misnomer that has
Mm-hmm.
hurt us in a major way, us being black people.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And your films are starting to express that
Yeah.
more so from the African American male perspective, because we
Right.
don't see too many brothers that can show this.
Yeah.
There was Al Greaves that had frustrated, but that was in his respect, it was a documentary. This is
Right.
an actual film, okay?
It's a narrative.
But
Yeah.
so let me kind of talk back about this, because your main character in both your movies is a woman that doesn't understand how to get along with men, and she's revolving the entire time. Like she doesn't know, she knows everything else. I mean, maybe how to get along in society, but when it comes to understanding how to have functional relationships with men, doesn't matter in one movie, white or black. So it's just not a race thing. They don't understand. A lot of sisters don't understand men at all. Why did you want to put this particular narrative inside of your films to express it?
It was interesting because during the time that I was doing my first feature film, which I didn't write, I wrote my second feature film, Noxious 2, now available. I wrote my second feature film, but my first feature film I bought from a friend of mine who I went to grad school with, a brother by the name Marquise Mosley. While I was reading the film, I was realizing that my then wife was not interested in helping make my first feature film. When she met me, I was a young dude in grad school whose dream was to make a movie. But she completely checked out of reality and wasn't down to help me. We had just had our daughter like 1 at the time. She wasn't in the realm or the ideology of helping me. And it really, unbeknownst to me at the time, psychologically, it was helping me understand this character even better. What does a woman look like when she has decided to check out of the reality you two are sharing and only be beholden to herself? Usually it's not good, because women aren't really designed to be by themselves. Women are designed to operate inside families. That's why they help nurture families so well. Men can be stoic and alone and by ourselves. We're built for that. Women are not. So when a woman starts to be what I call a renegade, because she is not emotionally intelligent enough to handle her discomfort with what life has given her, chaos always ensues after that. And that's what happened in the first movie. Going into the second movie, Noxious 2, our character is literally on the run from this life that, by the grace of God, she was able to get away from. And through this second movie, she goes through a complete character change. And you know what it is in the character change that helps?
What's that?
Strong heterosexual black men. That's the cure, brother. That's the cure. I don't want to be a filmmaker who's bashing black women all day, saying, well, these sisters ain't this and that, because that gets weak after a while. There has to be, we're intelligent, we're kings, which means that we are designed to find solutions to problems. The solution is us being heterosexual and not being simping. That doesn't mean you put your foot on a woman's neck and say, you better be barefoot and pregnant in the kitchen. No, that doesn't make sense. You are supposed to be the best version of yourself, and then able to articulate what productivity looks like. And it'll be, I promise you, you'll notice how a woman, no matter how dysfunctional she acts in her life and in her thinking, you'll notice how quickly she gets in line when she gets around some pimping or some masculinity. I don't believe in actual, game pimping.
Right.
It's fascinating to see the change. It's very fascinating. Because that's the way God designed it. So we as black men, we have to start aligning ourselves to that, and things will change.
Let me talk about this, because there's a scene that we're gonna play at the end of this show. We're gonna, and maybe we'll show some B-roll of it as you're talking. But there's a phenomenal scene in the movie in which a woman is pretty much understanding, and she's breaking down what's going on about men and women, right? And it's very funny that this comes out, because there's somebody that me and you both know, Kevin Samuels, And your position before we started this show was that it's not just men who understand that there's something wrong. A lot of women understand that there's something wrong, right? And a lot of people don't like Kevin Samuels. People come for him, but he has a lot of female fans, right? And they agree with him so much. Why is this like narrative that women don't really understand that something going wrong right now in society, that they're all drinking the Kool-Aid? Why did you put that particular scene in the movie that we're going to watch at the end?
Because a lack of accountability is extremely comfortable, Mr. O'Shea Jackson. A lack of accountability allows you to do the nonsensical things that you do and be rewarded for it. Ignorance truly is bliss. So when a fellow black woman checks another woman and reminds her of how out of line her ideology and her thinking is, I think it's going to hit home a lot harder than just a man expressing himself. Because a woman is just going to say, oh, he's just weak. Oh, he can't handle me. Oh, he's just hating. Mm-hmm. But when another sister who looks like you, comes from where you come from, has experienced the ills that you've experienced in your life, is able to look you in the face and say, wait a minute, I know where you're coming from. And I agree. No man should put his hands on you. No man should mistreat you.
Right.
But I was a bitch too.
Right.
And I had to wake up one day and realize that if I changed and made his life easier and allowed him to be the leader, protector, provider, and I stayed in my feminine area and I used my intellect to nurture and help him see everything that he wasn't seeing, this is going to be a very well-oiled machine. Femininity, in my opinion, is much stronger than masculinity. Because masculinity can walk into a room and say, yo, shut up, sit down, you're going to work there, you're out of here. But femininity can walk into a room and say, hey, it would be great if you did this, you did this, you did this, and you did this. And I know you're a good person, so you're going to do it, right? Yeah, I'm going to do it. Like, damn, that's power. Right. That's power.
It is.
But the inverse of that, I can do what a man does. That's illogical. That's nonsensical. That does not work. And we have to end that era. All that Lizzo stuff, all that whole, yo, I'm a female and I can do what men do stuff is done, bro. That era has not served us. Oh, hey, us black men, city boys, whatever you want to call us, we gave y'all 20 years since 2000. Since 99 and 2000, we gave y'all to do this whole independent woman thing, and the black community has suffered. I'm not here to say I blame all of society's problems on black women. That would be illogical and hypocritical. I'm not saying that. But as it pertains to productive black resourceful men who want to have families or good relationships with women, the ill-gotten power that black women think that they have gotten through the media, it's done. It's a nothing burger. It doesn't serve anybody. And where are all those chicks who in 2005 and 2010, they were really hot and they were really dope? Remember Gloria Gillespie? She was like the most popular popping music video vixen chick ever. Where is she?
Nobody, probably.
All those chicks who were in rap videos, rap songs, Flavor of Love, Charm School, blah, blah, blah. Where are they? I used to tell my students all the time when I was teaching at the college I was teaching at here in Arizona, there's no power in sexuality. There's no power in twerking. That stuff means nothing. Don't get confused that the views on your social media mean that you have power in society. Power comes from having a stable family structure with either a boyfriend or a husband and you guys building something. Of course, I mean, the Bible even tells us not everybody's intended to be married. So I'm not saying you got to be married, but I'm telling you, this ill-gotten power that you think were given to you, it doesn't exist. It's a lie. Don't believe it. And don't think you're crazy, black men, for having some loins about you and saying certain activities unacceptable. That's okay too. If I acted a little more like that, maybe I would have saved my marriage. But at the same time, I'm kind of glad it ended because I wasn't with the right woman. But you know how that goes.
But let's talk about that, because having standards for yourself as a black man, you learn how to speak. Because a lot of black men don't know how to speak up for themselves, and they don't learn until later. But you learn that How has that helped you now in your new relationship in comparison to your ex relationship with your ex-wife?
I realized that I was history repeating itself. And I have the world's greatest mother. My mother is the greatest mom God ever made. But my mom made a cardinal sin, a huge mistake. And I'm not telling you anything she wouldn't tell to a young woman herself. My mother left my father when I was 10. My mother started going back to school, Long Beach City College. My brother and I grew up on that campus, catching bunny rabbits in the 90s. We literally grew up on that campus. And when my mom started going back to college, she got her associate's degree. And my dad's like, all right, cool, you know, we're two immigrants. I'm raising my kids to be black and know that they're black. They're Jamaican, but my dad raised us to be like very black centered. So he expected the same of my mother. My mother, unfortunately, fell victim to the ideology of feminism while she was in college. And I'm telling you, she'll admit this herself. And she decided she could do better without my dad. And that hasn't been true. That has not been true. So ironically, the same thing happens to her son. And I should have seen this. I should have known more. I should have been more stringent on my values. I should have been like, no, you can't hang out with this homeboy of yours. It's irresponsible and disrespectful of me that I allowed her to do that. Because a month after our divorce was final, she took a trip to Manhattan, and him and her had a room. But, you know.
Whoa, the best
friend. That's a
friend.
whole other story. Yeah.
The best friend. How did you find out about that?
Brother, I'm from New York. I was born in New York, but I got eyes everywhere, man. I grew up in Los Angeles, but I was born in New York. But now I'm acting like I'm James Bond. I'm not. Truth is, her email receipt came to my email inbox. We had like a shared email. And I asked her, I said, yo, when you went to New York to visit your friend Maya, did your homeboy such and such go? Yeah. Where did you stay? I stayed with Maya. Where did he stay? He stayed at such and such hotel in Manhattan. And so I'm looking at the receipt on my computer, and it says her name, 1 room, 2 adults, 1 king size bed. And I'm like,
oh my! Oh.
Wait a minute. Now she didn't cheat. She waited until the marriage was over to, run that one thing. But hey, it is what it is.
Are they together now,
bro? Say it again.
Are they together now?
No, they're not together. She's got the personality of an ant. They're not together, bro.
So she messed that up too.
Yes, bro. And now she's married to a new dude. I see this dude at the Peter Piper Pizza Kitchen. The other side note, I see this dude at the Peter Piper Pizza Kitchen because my daughter started kindergarten, and so I go to this meet the principal night. I'm in Peter Piper Pizza Kitchen doing my thing. My girl is there, and I'm talking to the principal. Hey, headmaster such and such. My daughter, cutest little thing in the world, looks just like a player. You can't miss her. She's just a little more light-skinned than me. I'm sorry she's not here right now. Some kid runs and grabs my leg, and I look down, it's my daughter. I'm like, yo, what's up? So I introduce her to the principal. I look over, the ex-wife, her new husband, and the old ex-mother-in-law are all standing by damn whack-a-mole, looking at us, all funny. So I walk over to my daughter, and she's standing by her grandmother. The grandmother says, you're not supposed to be here, right? I said, why would you say such a disrespectful thing to a player like me? She says, the order of protection says you can't be within a certain amount of feet of my daughter. I said, first of all, the order of protection has no feet limit as to where I could be of your daughter. There was never any domestic abuse that happened. She put that order of protection on me so she could get a private address. I'm giving you brothers all the game as to what the lawyers tell these women to do. They say, get a restraining order. And remember, in most states, you don't need evidence to get a restraining order. Or in Arizona, they call it an order of protection. You don't need one. You just say, I'm scared. I don't want an order of protection. And they mandate it. It's that simple. And then you can say, I've got an order of protection. I need to have a privatized address. So she had a privatized address. Then she moved 100 miles away with my daughter, which was illegal because she never notified me that she was moving. I had to go to court, fight for my daughter, win custody of my daughter. She moves back to Arizona. We go back to the old parenting plan where we share co-parenting for the week. It's all a game, and as I'm doing research, I'm realizing these lawyers tell these guys to do the same thing. So the husband then walks up to me and the grandmother at Whack-A-Mole. You need to leave. I said, why? Because the order of protection. The order of protection doesn't say anything about feet. I didn't know y'all were going to be here today. I'm not here for her. Well, why don't you and me just step outside? Oh, Shay, I'm like, bro, I'm not from Compton, but I'm from Bellflower, California.
Right.
And you're not going to disrespect me like this. I said, brother, look, you don't have biological kids of your own. So you'll never know how disrespectful it is to say that to a man when he's at a school function for his kid. As long as you and I have to interact with each other because you're married to my daughter's mom, we're going to talk to each other with respect. Well, why don't I just call the police then? Like,
oh my God.
I'm not a thug. I'm not some
tough
guy, but I'm not a coward.
Right.
So you like, bro, you're tripping. And I said, bro, stop this tough guy routine because you look like an idiot. What do you mean by that? You use a lot of big words, Kevin. Hey, yeah, bro, I'm a whole college professor. I use a lot of big words. So like, what, bro? He was pissed. Face turned red. Dude is mad. And I said, yo, welcome back to Phoenix. We didn't move back because of you, Kevin. Yeah, you did, bro. Like, bro, this whole thing's on video. I'm like, bro, you're tripping. So my girl is like 5 feet tall. I'm 6'1". This dude is 6'1" too. She walking between us. Cause you know, hearts be the small chicks. They got the most heart, bro. She's like, first of all, there's no need to be nasty. There's no disrespect. We didn't know you guys were gonna be here. It's a pleasure to meet you. Bro, mid-sentence he turns his back to her like this. And walks off. And I'm like, who is this guy, bro? It's hilarious, bro. So in and out of court, back and forth, bro. Just it's nonsensical, bro. She went out and said somebody in my family molested our daughter.
What?
Well, Shay, I swear to God, I can show you my court documents right now.
I believe you. You ain't gotta do it.
She said, well, when you went to visit your dad in such and such state, and you came back, and it wasn't my dad who she accused, but she said, somebody in your family, Autumn, our daughter says, touched her inappropriately. I'm like, my daughter was with me the entire trip. My daughter slept in the same room as I the entire trip. Nobody even took my daughter to use the restroom other than me. How the hell could this have happened? Her lawyer said, well, maybe in your sleep, someone came in your bedroom and fondled her genitals. I said, bro, there's a special place in hell for lawyers like you, bro. And there's a special place in heaven for a parent like you, my daughter's mom, my ex-wife, because for you to even go along with this just to get full custody of our daughter because you are mad because I keep winning in court. I don't keep winning in court and trying to get more time with our daughter and take our daughter away from you. I don't win in court and try to get money from you. I don't win in court and try to get you to go to jail. I don't go to court for any of that. I just go to court to defend myself. And I keep winning because by the grace of God, I'm not doing nothing wrong. So there's this behavioral pattern that keeps happening. And this is what happens with this indoctrination of this new ideology that Black women in this country are adopting. This evil ideology that I got to be right no matter what means necessary, even if it means I have to destroy this man and his family. It's disgusting, bro. I'm finding out that lawyers around the country are telling women to say that the husband or someone in the husband's family molested the kid. It's a practice that they're doing now, O'Shea, and no one's talking about it, bro. People are doing it on purpose. They're lying on purpose to get what they want in court. And I think judges are catching on to it, bro. Because, bro, I immediately had my daughter checked at the pediatrician, and the pediatrician was like, Kevin, I gave your daughter a full physical. There was no signs of physical trauma whatsoever. I don't know what the mom is talking about. She had to write a letter for me to the judge saying there was absolutely no signs of evidence saying that any of this ever happened. Then the mother asked the pediatrician, can you write a recommendation that my daughter has to go to a shrink? Our daughter was 3 at the time. What the hell is she doing seeing a shrink? Now that's, I know some 3-year-olds see some traumatizing stuff. Ours didn't.
Right.
So now I'm like, yo, what? No, our daughter can't see a shrink. Also, I think you're coaching our daughter to say certain things.
Right.
So if my daughter goes into that shrink room and says something that her mother told her to say, and I completely lose custody of my daughter, then what? I did my homework and made sure nothing happened. And it pained me to my heart to this day that I even had to do that, because I come from a damn good family, O'Shea. Damn good family. No history of sexual trauma in anybody in my family. And that's a blessing, because my family comes from poverty in Jamaica, bro. Like, it hasn't been peaches and cream for anybody in my family. But sexual abuse isn't a theme in our family, bro. Like, that hurt, man. That blatant lie. So I'm noticing this character change in this woman, O'Shea. And ever since we got a divorce, she said, okay, check this out. We're getting a divorce. Let's refinance the house, split the money, and you take your name off the deed of the house, and I keep the house. So our daughter can grow up in the house that she was born in. I said, did you grow up in the house that you were in the year you got born? No. I said, most people didn't either. Our daughter will be fine. If we get a divorce because of you, we both leaving. Bro, from that moment, she hated me, bro. And it just went worse and worse and worse and worse. And now this new dude who she's married to, bro, I know I'm gonna sound like an idiot, but I pray for that guy, bro. Because when she's done with him, it's gonna be more of the same.
All right, so brother, man, thank you for coming on, man. Yeah, it's an awesome interview. Tell people, man, about the film and how they can access it. I'll leave the links at the beginning of the top comment pinned to the top. But tell them how we can access your film.
Man, well, first of all, Mr. It's your boy, O'Shea Jackson. I honestly, humbly, from the bottom of my heart, wanted to say thank you for the opportunity to come on your show. Really, really means a lot to me. To every man, black or other ethnicity, but any man watching this right now who's going through it, and you're truly, from the bottom of your heart, doing your best to be an upstanding guy, God bless you. Stay strong and keep being a good guy. Don't turn into a bad guy because of this. Keep being a good guy, and I promise you, you'll be blessed. If you want to get in touch with me to see my movies, you can follow me on IG. My movie IG is Noxious Movie, Noxious Movie, on IG or Facebook. And from that IG, you can find links to watch the first movie or the second movie. The second movie, Noxious 2 Cold Case, is streaming right now on Tubi, Tubi. If you're in the UK, you can watch it on Amazon Prime. If you're in America, you can watch it on Amazon Prime. And if you really want to support, please shoot me a message and buy a DVD. You can buy a DVD. Shipping is free anywhere in the continental United States. And the first 25 people to do that also get a copy of my book, The Art of the Flip, How to Creatively Succeed in Job Interviews. I wrote this book while I was a career advisor a few years ago. Also, I'm getting ready to start production on my new feature film, Valley of the Queens, man. If you're interested in that, just go to Valley of the Queens, the number 1, on Instagram or on Facebook. I just launched a Indiegogo for that. Every dollar counts. If you want to donate $1 to the next movie, that movie is going to be really heavy, O'Shea. We talk about ancient Egypt. We talk about family structures, and we talk about the greatness of blackness in the modern time and how we have forgotten our greatness from world history. It's going to be a powerful movie, man. Really, really good. And I'm really excited about it. And if you want to help contribute to make that movie possible, please hit us up on Indiegogo, Valley of the Queens, Planned Obsolescence.
I'll make sure we have all of those links at the beginning of the video. And guys, what we're going to do right now is we're going to play the clip of the brothers scene just as a preview. You can watch those videos, like I said, for, if you're on Amazon Prime for free, Tubi for free, and then also the other information will be down at the top also. And brother, I do thank you so much. We're going to go ahead on right now and check out this movie clip. And as you guys know, keep it real. The performer remains an all-time high. We out.
That's great, Gina. And no pun intended, but sometimes life beats the hell out of you, then blesses you. I've got no idea why.
It's because there's evil in this world. Eve bit the apple and God let hell be on earth.
Oh, hell no. First of all, we're all forgiven, okay?
Ladies, everyone's entitled to her opinion. Sarah, tell us more.
Please do, because last time you sounded different.
Hold on, we don't judge here.
No, she's right. I just feel really strongly against abuse. But as a Christian, I do believe our society is on a downturn, and a very big reason can be blamed on us.
And Ruth, how do you feel about that?
I don't want to take over this session, Tony.
No, it's okay, Ruth. I want to hear your opinion. We never hear from you.
Not me.
This is a safe place, Ruth.
I don't know. I was just thinking, us women get the blame for the worst of society, as if we're the mucus of the body. Maybe sometimes we just find ourselves in adverse situations, and maybe sometimes the best and only option is to bite the apple.
Girl, what? Ruth, last year alone, women initiated nearly 70% of all divorces.
Yes, maybe, but like, what led them to doing so? It's not all peaches and cream.
And it's not always the man's fault. When did us women forget to grow up and accept reality? It's all hashtag goals and pretty pictures. We are delusional.
Don't say that. Please don't say that. This is just really hard for me. And I know a lot of you don't know my story, and that's not your fault. Never mind. I don't mean to be this way, I'm sorry.
We don't label here, Ruth. You're unique and wonderful.
No, I'm not. I've seen evil, and I've contributed to it.
Come on, Ruth.
No, let her finish. I appreciate her honesty.
Don't be so hard on yourself. You're here. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with the first step.
I don't know. I just think sometimes I hate me. The world already hates me. And because he tried to kill me, I fought back. And things went bad. They got worse and worse. I was in love with a player. And because he is a man, I was just supposed to accept that?
Okay, Ruth. No one really wants to kill anybody. They say it, but they don't mean it.
Ruth, you were so astute. And personally, I stand with you, girl, for trying to kill him. My ass would have done the same thing if I found out mine was cheating. Unfortunately, for a generation of women that want equality, we sure don't use an equal amount of logic as men do. I'm just as guilty. I just choose to accept reality.
Okay, we've heard from you, Ruth. Now let's hear from Sarah.
I live a clean life. I don't even steal cable, or should I say, stream it. But it wasn't always like that. Before, my husband and I were poor, and I was a complete I was not this belle of the ball, we shall overcome, I support you no matter what, baby type of gal. I was a I would threaten to leave him. I would threaten to take our kids. I would threaten to see other men, and we fought. I brought a lot of that out of him, and I take responsibility for that. I never allowed him to put his hands on me, and I was blessed that he created a career for himself. But now I recognize my place and accept it. Once I started to support him, and once I actually started to encourage him, things got better. Now I'm blessed to live a great life, and he makes great money. I used to be a terrible life partner and wife, but not anymore.